Okay, so basically I'm filming this in my window, which means that my bed's going to be making a lot of noise, and you're probably going to hear cars, and everyone is going to be staring at me. But basically, this is my 31-week update. I'm 31 weeks and 1 day, and I was going to wait until I was at 32 weeks to do another update because I actually have an appointment on that day, and I'll be going in for an ultrasound, and they'll be checking the weight of the baby and all that stuff. So there's going to be like a whole bunch of stuff to update on. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized there was kind of already a lot to update on. So I decided to go ahead and do it. Okay, so basically, my symptoms now at this point are pretty standard for pregnancy. Extremely dry skin. It's kind of painful, mostly in my hands and feet. They get so dry that they actually start to feel really stiff, and I feel like there's not good circulation and all that, so that sucks. So I had to get a new body wash that would dry me out a little bit less, and so far that's working out pretty well. Lots and lots of lotion all the damn time. Why is everybody driving so fucking slow? But anyway, frequent urination, obviously that's been a thing through the entire pregnancy, but now, like, it just seems like when I have to pee, I really, really have to pee. It feels like I'm about to bust, pretty much. And then once I get to the bathroom, there's pretty much nothing going on. Like little trickles. It sucks really bad. I feel like I cannot empty my bladder for anything. So I constantly feel like I'm gonna explode, pretty much. Constipation's not really been an issue lately. It was in the beginning of my pregnancy, but I kind of worked around with my diet a little bit to try and eat more things that would keep me regular. The heartburn I mention in pretty much every video because it just keeps getting worse and worse. Now it's to the point where anytime I start to feel it coming on, which it never really goes away, but sometimes the intensity gets worse. When it gets really, really intense, I usually throw up. I was taking Tums and Rolaids. I was trying both of those to help with the heartburn, but they weren't really doing anything. And I was drinking a lot of milk. But now, see, before I was pregnant, I was slightly lactose intolerant. My stomach didn't really work well with dairy, so I kind of avoided it. But once I got pregnant, that seemed to change, and my midwife said that that was normal, that I would probably go back to not being able to handle it once the pregnancy was over. But it seems that now that I'm closer to the end, I'm having more issues keeping it down. So usually when I do drink milk, it makes me really sick and I throw up. So I don't have that option anymore, so I'm going to talk to her whenever I go back about getting a prescription for Zantac, because that's pretty much the only thing I haven't tried. My weight gain, I have gained a total of 20 pounds throughout the entire pregnancy, as of my last visit, which it's probably more now. You're supposed to, in your last trimester, gain about half a pound a week, or like, I think it's a week, or maybe a day, I'm not sure, but I've been gaining more than that. So that sucks. It's a whole lot harder to catch my breath these days. I guess that has a lot to do with getting so much bigger, and he tends to set up really high, and that makes the heartburn and the breathing a lot more difficult. But my midwife did tell me that once he actually dropped, that I wouldn't have as many problems with that. Swelling, I pretty much stay swelled in my feet and ankles. Sometimes my legs, but it's not really that bad. Just my feet are, there's little things floating. Sorry, my eyes probably just crossed. But, you know, usually if I elevate my feet for like 15 to 20 minutes, it goes away. But, yeah. I have a lot of issues sleeping on my sides. And they do say that it's not really good for you to sleep on your back for multiple reasons. It's harder to breathe when you sleep on your back. Usually more painful because the weight of your belly is kind of pushing down. And then there's the acid reflux, which some people don't really have a big issue with, but I had an issue with it before I was pregnant, so it got worse. I don't know, but at this point I'm having issues sleeping on my sides because I get so many sharp pains in my hips because he tends to kind of migrate towards them throughout the night. So I've been sleeping on my back sort of just every now and then, or I'll wake up and I'll be rolled over. But that sucks because it pretty much hurts however I lay. He's moving extremely well. I don't think that he's actually moved into the correct, like, heads down position yet, but he should be doing that pretty much any time. He moves perfectly. His kicks, you know, I keep track of them, I count them. They all come out normal and I guess up to par or whatever. But, yeah, he's really, really, really active. He reacts really well to mine and Dylan's voices now, which he wasn't doing so much before, but I guess just where his ears and hearing and everything are more developed now, he reacts really well to us. Usually, if one of us, like mostly Dylan, I don't know, pretty sure Tuck already has a favorite, but usually if Dylan, like, puts his mouth next to my belly and starts talking, or if he rubs his hands on my belly or anything, Tuck kind of migrates towards him and just kind of stays there. So, you know, I think he might be a daddy's boy. I do have a few contractions every now and then. They're not that often, and my midwife told me that if I have 5 or more within an hour, that's when I need to be concerned about whether or not I'm going into labor. But right now I usually have one about every 2 hours, something like that. Some days I don't have them at all, but usually when I do have them, they leave me really, really sore afterwards in my lower back and just down in my stomach. It makes it harder for me to stand up straight. So I usually have to just kind of find a spot and lay down if it does happen. It's harder for me to stand or walk for longer periods of time, which is normal. The bigger your belly gets, the harder it is to support your upper body. Usually when I'm standing up or even sitting up, my back tends to fall backwards a little. But basically it's just really uncomfortable. It's nothing I can't deal with or anything. It's just me complaining as usual, which is probably why half of you subscribe to me. The only other real issues I have would be, I guess, bleeding gums, which is also pretty normal. They're not that bad. They're not as bad as I thought they would actually be because I have had issues with my teeth in the past. Just every now and then if I brush a little bit too hard, you know, I'll have a little bleeding here or there. And just regular updates. The baby shower is in a little over a week. We've got pretty much everything planned out down to the menu and decorations. We've got most of our prize gifts and all of that stuff taken care of. We haven't paid for the venue yet, but I think we're going to do that next week. We still have to get a few decorations and things, but the majority of it's taken care of, which is great. And the invites are out. Everything's pretty much good as far as the baby shower goes. The nursery, we still have not even started on the nursery. We've got the paint colors picked out and things like that, but I think we're actually going to start on that tomorrow, or start prepping for it. We'll probably have to prime it. I'm also painting my room at the same time, because this room was originally my little sister's room, and it's hot pink and canary yellow, and I'm pretty sure that Tuck would have a panic attack or possibly a seizure anytime he came in here. So I'm just going to paint it like a really pale green color with white, and just get rid of all the crazy in here. We're also painting the hallway and the living room the same time, so we're going to be pretty busy for the next few days, which is also another reason I needed to go ahead and do this update. We haven't picked out an actual theme for the nursery, and originally I hadn't planned on it, but my stepdad kind of talked me into it, so I'm trying to find something that's kind of neutral but still leaning towards the boyish side. I don't know, I haven't looked a lot into it because it just really kind of stresses me out. We have our crib. That's the only piece of furniture that we actually have for his room right now. We haven't even went shopping for anything else, which is terrible, I know. But we can't find the hardware for the crib because the crib actually belongs to my mother, and she's kind of passed it between me and my two sisters, and my younger sister kind of misplaced the hardware, so we're still trying to find that. Let's see. So, I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. There's a huge spider on my window. It is like freaking massive. But, I had a doctor's appointment 2 weeks ago. We just kind of went over basic things. His heartbeat was really good. I was measuring it a little bit larger than my due date, so we're doing an ultrasound next week to kind of determine whether or not we need to reevaluate the due date or not. My phone keeps vibrating. I can't tell if it's dead or if I'm really, really popular today. Also, last week, or well, no, actually, I think it was the beginning of this week. I think it was Monday. Yeah. I went back for my 3-hour glucose test because I failed my 1 hour. And in the 3 hour, you drink the nasty sugary juice again. And I think that I did mention that the 1 hour I got really sick from the juice. But the 3 hour, it has double the sugar in it. And you have to get your blood drawn every hour for 3 hours, basically. I didn't even make it through drinking the actual juice before I nearly passed out. I got extremely sick. They brought me into one of the back rooms and laid me down and fed me crackers and water and things like that until I could kind of get that sugary stuff out of my system. And my biggest concern was that I was just going to have to redo the 3 hour, and obviously that would not work. But my midwife decided to go ahead and treat me as if I have diabetes, so when I go back next week for my ultrasound appointment, she's going to go ahead and refer me to a doctor so that I can go ahead and get put on a diet and possibly insulin shots. Hopefully not. It just depends on how bad off I am.